is Marianna, and I'm the VP of Commercial Awareness Society at BPP. I'm currently an LLM LPC student, and yeah, so I was debating what to do this video because I'm not a YouTube expert, so I did it outside. I hope it's nicer. So yeah, I've decided to do a coronavirus impact on the shipping industry. I'm not an expert myself, so I'm using simple language here for you to follow along, for me to be easier to talk about it. Yeah, so shipping comprises 80% of international trade, and it's at the center of globalization. So it's no wonder that it has been hit by the coronavirus. I will not touch base about the impact that it had on cruise ships because most of you have seen the news and will know some stuff that has happened to them. So yeah, I'll just leave that as it is. And I'm just gonna want to say that Western countries, since they have been hit from COVID-19, they just wanted their economies to go as much as they could. So we saw stock markets volatile, and we saw stagnation as well. And this was very important for not only individual countries, but also globalization dependent sectors such as shipping. Therefore, I just want to discuss about 3 impacts that it had on the shipping industry. It's not necessarily that these are the main impacts that it had, it's just the ones that I'm most comfortable to talk about, and also I've read most of them online, so I decided to do this. The first one flows naturally from Hernandez's video. It's about the impact that coronavirus has had on shipping contracts. All countries have issued guidelines for ports, or some of them have closed their ports completely, and this naturally causes delays to the ships, or extra costs, or having to find alternative routes to go to their final destinations, or seafarers staying longer on the ships and extending their contracts. Therefore, throughout the shipping community, many legal considerations and many legal questions arose, such as about demurrage or force majeure issues, or deviation claims under insurance and protection indemnity certificates. I'll just focus a bit on force majeure issues, and I've read a fantastic article which I'm gonna put on the description about this. Quarantine causes delays, of course, on late time, and the question was whether this would constitute an exception to the running of the late time or demurrage, depending on the wording of the contract. So late time, simply put, is the time allowed for the ship under the contract to load and unload the cargo. The question posed here is whether the delay caused by the coronavirus could only be justified under a force majeure clause. But this to be the case, it has to be expressed in the contract, because as you all know, force majeure to apply is not an implied term, it has to be expressed in the contract. So other questions about it arose about whether a port may be unsafe, so because of COVID-19 lockdown. But it was found out that mere delay of a vessel because of the lockdown would not constitute a port unsafe. This is because it has to cause a real danger to the crew on board of the vessel, for example. It has to be a real danger for it to apply. So some contracts, some charter parties contain force majeure provisions excluding contractual performance if one of certain events apply. However, their ability to apply in a COVID-19 scenario will depend on the wording of the clause. So other examples exist, and it's problematic at the moment. So most firms advise their clients to be vigilant about it, and if they found to have any problems, to contact them. I think in the future, maybe we may see expand of the clause, more events to be listed, like pandemics or lockdowns of pandemics and stuff like that, or more frequent use. It's either way very common to use force majeure at this moment, but you know, may lead to more use of it. The second impact that I want to discuss today is about seafarers. Seafarers is on the center of shipping. You know, they're the people that work on board when the voyage is happening. So, you know, right now they're stranded on the ships because, you know, some of them cannot go out in ports because they're closed, or they're not seen as key workers, you know, so they cannot go outside of the ports, and it's a bit difficult on them. They're in self-isolation, and they cannot talk with their families. They have questions about whether they're earning more money, what's happening with their other contracts that they have, or if their money is getting to their families and when they're going to see them again. So, you know, I think this is an important example, like, of a problem that may have existed about their mental health and the physical presence, because, you know, they have to work for long hours, and especially now because of the whole situation. So maybe this is a good opportunity for the industry to maybe invest a bit more on these people and, like, improve their internet, or even make more accommodating spaces for them to be able to interact with each other, and, you know, make this part of the work more enjoyable. So, because of a study that showed that, you know, they had their happy time when they were leaving the ship. I mean, none of this experience on the ship was fun for them. Want to discuss is the dry cargo market. Dry cargo market is the transportation of steel, steel and other dry materials. So, for example, you know that most of those exports happen from China. This is because it's the biggest exporter and importer of dry cargo, as most of the transportation depends on them. At the beginning of the year, China entered its lockdown, closing its ports. In this way, you know, impacting on the whole supply chain, not only the ship owners and charters, but also manufacturers and, you know, workers. And so, you know, on the point of view of the ship owners, they had to pay more for their spaces on ports, like port fees, and, like, maybe ships had to wait, late time, or, like, they were turning to alternatives, extra cost there as well, to Indonesia or Australia, which may be, like, more expensive for them. You know, that this is definitely getting better right now because, you know, China is re-entering the world. It's like it's opening again its horizon, but, you know, it's still in low supply. So this is just an example of how, even though some demand the demand has been low, the economy is still going. So if you want part 2 of the shipping industry impact, just write on the comments or email me. And yeah, thank you very much about this. Bye.